Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Josh Thomas here from TheBitBlock. Welcome to another discussion video, which is going to involve me and Roger's base.
What's going on, everybody? Nice to be back, as always.
Haven't done one of these for a while.
No, I know we haven't, but after you left me that voicemail last night, I pretty much figured that that I had to do one, telling me that you're going to take my Elsa hostage. Can't be doing that.
I like to leave Roger threatening voicemails.
You do.
It's a new thing with me. So today we are going to be talking about our 5 most wanted Nintendo-related games that we would like to see remade in HD for the Nintendo NX, the next Nintendo system. So I have a list of 5. Roger, you have a list of 5?
Yes, I do.
Let's start it off with you.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, because you told me that it's okay to say third-party games so long as they were on Nintendo platforms before, is I need an HD remake of Chrono Trigger on the NX. Chrono Trigger, however you want to say it. People say it differently. I need that game remade on the NX. That is personally my favorite RPG of all time. Okay. I love the music. I would love to see it with an orchestrated soundtrack. The game is beautiful enough as it is with the sprite work, but seeing that in full HD with like maybe hand-drawn sprites or something, oh, it's done. I need a Chrono Trigger remake.
I mean, that's definitely a game a lot of people talk very highly of.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of people being very excited about that.
Yep.
So here's, okay, this is one that I'm going to start off kind of strangely here. And most people have probably not even played this game, but I picked it because I really believe that this game would benefit from being remade and put into like a modern market. Okay, so my first pick is Doshin the Giant.
Yo, Doshin!
This is a game that was originally on the Nintendo 64 disk drive, and then it moved over to the GameCube. And it's this game, you know, where you play as a strange giant creature who helps these little primitive natives build their, you know, their fort, their shrines. But it's all about, like, manipulating the terrain by, like, raising it up and lowering it, and you can pick up plants and throw them around, and then that, like, alters the texture and puts grass there. It's the type of game that I think if you saw it, you'd be like, oh, yeah, this would be so improved if it were released on a very powerful system. Because I can imagine, like, the little individual blades of grass and the beautiful lighting.
The little
and
people.
Yeah, and the terrain being much smoother and all that stuff. And also, it's a very weird game, so it's hard to sell. But nowadays, you could put it up on, like, the eShop for Nintendo NX for, like, 20 bucks, and it would be able to find an audience and be a success. So, for all those reasons, I really want to see Doshin the Giant get a chance and remade.
And actually, a lot of people overseas kind of know who he is if you're a Smash Brothers player, because they had the trophies in Melee.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, I'd love that game. Well, my next choice isn't as obscure. It's just something that I've recently been replaying on a virtual console on Wii U, and that is Donkey Kong 64. Okay. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about Donkey Kong 64. They think it's a collectathon. They think it's not that fun. Rare developed the original game, so it would be extraordinarily difficult to remake it. Nintendo would have to basically do it all themselves using Rare's old stuff, and it'd be getting a weird legal territory, but I would love to see this happen. I've been replaying through it with my girlfriend, and it's been a load of fun playing the old mini games again and exploring through the world. And one of the biggest issues with it, playing it on the Wii U, is the fact that the Wii U does not have C buttons. It has a C stick. And so a lot of the time, because so many of the techniques and the moves in the game are designated to the stick, you aren't really able to do everything that easily, even with like the new button layouts and the controller layouts, because they're all designated to like C up or C down or whatever. So when you're trying to take a picture of one of the fairies in the game, you have to click down on the control stick. But when you want to throw a grenade, an orange grenade, it's the control stick to the right. And that would normally be C right and C down. But because of the sensitivity of the control stick, half the time I find myself pulling out a camera when I'm in a situation where I need to throw a grenade, and then I end up getting hurt. So I think that would benefit from a new button layout, a new controller layout. All of the levels in that game are extraordinarily expansive, but you can tell they were built in a way where it kind of tricks the system, like to not show off like the limitations of the system. So like you'll go through these long corridors that really don't necessarily need to be there. They're just kind of like loading spaces that the expansion pack needed to like walk between areas. I think having that in an HD powerful system, they could expand those worlds, but still basically keep the same mini games, the same story, the same atmosphere, the same music. But just seeing it in HT and seeing those characters again would be glorious. And I need Donkey Kong 64 on NX.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime we get another full 3D platformer, I'm pretty happy with that. I miss those.
Yeah. Me too.
So yeah, I actually been recently playing that. Well, recently as in like a few months ago, but yeah, it definitely reminded me of what it's like to actually be able to explore in a 3D adventure game, which is kind of something we don't get to do anymore. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and the camera's really bad. I think I mentioned
it
that
is.
Too,
Yeah,
the camera's so bad.
That does need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is one we might both have, but I think you have extras, so I'm gonna just use this myself.
Yep.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Yep.
I really want to see this game remastered, brought onto the NX, for a variety of reasons. First of all, I think it's one of those. It's like it's my all-time favorite Mario game personally. I think that it could benefit from being in HD, new types of controls for sure. But one of the main reasons that I really want to see this game remastered on the NX is because a lot of people might not know this. Super Mario Sunshine was kind of rushed to develop through its development because there was actually another 5 worlds planned for the game.
I was so glad you brought this up because that was something else I was going to talk about when we talked about this game being on our list beforehand. Is that thing came out where there was like a Fire Shrine world.
Yeah.
What were Corona Mountain was its own level.
Yep.
They had. Do you know what the other levels were?
No, I don't. But I remember there was like another temple. Yeah. So there was. I know there was 5 levels, 5 worlds that were planned that didn't get created because they were on a time limit to get the game out. And in addition to that, they even in the beginning were toying around with multiplayer options for Super Mario Sunshine because there's like a camera for multiplayer. So to me, it sounds like Super Mario Sunshine has a lot of stuff they never got around to, and I'm sure they still have all those concept arts, and they probably have tons of assets for this stuff, that if they remastered Super Mario Sunshine, not only could they give us the game that we all know and love into like a beautiful HD setting and improved controls, but they could give us content that we've never seen before that was originally planned. It sounds like an absolutely perfect thing to do to me.
Oh, it'd be a dream come true. And I think that game would really benefit from HD because so many of the levels are so pretty to look through anyway. Like the Barrier Reef level when you're going through and collecting the red coins.
Yeah.
Or even just like skimming around the water in Isle Delfino, seeing that in, full HD. Sure, it's in HD in Smash Brothers, but it would look far superior to that because there would be new assets involved.
Yeah. It's a very, very colorful game, and I think that would be beautiful remade in HD.
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree. Well, actually, while we're talking about GameCube games, this is another GameCube game that's also a third-party title that I would love to see remade, and that is the Star Wars Rogue Squadron Trilogy. Now, initially, this was a game that was supposed to come out on Wii. Factor 5 was developing a Trilogy 3-pack to release on Wii, never got released. Rebel Strike, I think, was the one that was the third game in the franchise that was on GameCube. Came out, had the first Rogue Squadron game for GameCube included with the pack, which is Rogue Leader, which is actually Rogue Squadron 2. But I would have loved to have seen the Rogue Squadron trilogy that included the N64 original that was originally planned for Wii on NX. And because Star Wars is now, back in the mainstream, everybody's talking about it again because of Force Awakens. Disney now has the rights. I think Disney and Nintendo could come together and release the full Rogue Squadron trilogy using the old assets, seeing it in beautiful HD, looking kind of like how the new Battlefront looks, which is just beautiful. Did you get a chance to play that at E3?
No.
So when me and Matt went to go play that was honestly one of my games of the show. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a reason to buy a PS4 or an Xbox One, honestly. And if the NX has the power of PS4 at least, which is what we're hearing, based on what happened with Dragon Quest XI and its announcement, I think it could really benefit from a release on NX. I really do.
Yeah, was that a launch game on the GameCube?
It was a launch game, and it still looked pretty good up until like this console generation. It still, if you went back and played it, it looked really, really good.
Yeah, that's one that I hear a lot of people talking about. So again, I'm sure people would love that.
I think it's because they were sort of like the all-range missions in Star Fox when you're playing through them, because you're just in this big open-world expansion. And some of them are on rails, but a lot of the parts aren't. You're just like going around and exploring areas in the ship, and it was great. You don't really see games like that anymore, and when you do, there are things like Ace Combat, where it's mostly dogfighting as opposed to, completing missions and actually, cabling around the AT-ATs and making them drop. I think it would be a great game.
All right, I'm gonna move on to I have 2 Mario games on the list. One was Super Mario Sunshine, and this one is a little strange, but I would love to see them remaster all of some of the previous Mario Party games and put them into one package, and the whole package is nothing but all the classic Mario Party things.
Because
they clearly they clearly don't know how to make a new Mario Party, okay? They've proven that 3 times, Island Tour, Mario Party 9, and Mario Party 10. So if they literally just took all the old favorite things that fans liked and put it into one remastered game on the NX, that would probably be much preferred to them trying to do something new.
I'm surprised that you have 5 choices for this video and that you chose Mario Party for one of the 5. That isn't even in my realm of 30. I mean, I agree with you. I think it could totally, it could totally use like a best hits kind of pack to really kind of revitalize the franchise. But man, that one wasn't even on my radar when we were putting together this list. That's like so far back. That franchise to me is just like them churning out the same shit over and over again. I hate it.
No, listen, if you played Mario Party Island Tour on the 3DS or Mario Party 9 or Mario Party 10, you would definitely see, okay, the other ones were infinitely better than this garbage.
Oh yeah, of course. The original 3 are fantastic.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, take maybe the original 3 Mario Party games, and I would say any Mario Party. Just find the best mini games, find the best boards, the best modes, put it all into one package, and boom, there you go. That would be absolutely amazing. Remade to look prettier, different controls. They could even like do some sort of thing online where they let fans vote for their favorite mini games and their favorite boards, like they do with the Smash Brothers poll.
Yeah, with the fighter ballot.
Yeah, and that would be amazing. And I would be so excited. Like I said, they don't know how to make a Mario Party game anymore, so just literally make the old stuff again.
That is a good choice. Man.
I think people will love it.
My next choice is something that I don't think necessarily needs an NX remake, simply because the original game is pretty much perfect. It's my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time. But this franchise desperately needs to be revitalized in a way that isn't just Blast Ball. And I'm talking about Super Metroid. I would love to see hand-drawn HD sprite Super Metroid remade on the NX. Literally the exact same game, nothing added to it. I want the exact same game, even with the same frames of animation, everything. I want it to be a perfect remastering of the original Super Nintendo game. And especially after we saw it at this year's Nintendo World Championships when they were playing through and speedrunning the ending, I just thought, man, what a great way to introduce this series to a new generation of people and really, sort of revitalize that side-scrolling Metroid. Because I have full faith that we're eventually going to get some type of Metroid Prime game on NX. I really do. And we're already getting Blast Ball on the 3DS. So I think the first-person Metroids are safe. But I think in order to bring back that side-scrolling Metroid, and because we're hearing rumors about the NX being a handheld and a home console, I think side-scrolling Metroid would be the way to go. And a remake of Super Metroid would be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a game that so many people hold dearly. I actually played Metroid Prime first before playing Super Metroid, so that's a really weird situation that's hard to explain, because, like, when I was playing Super Metroid, I was like, oh, they just stole this from Metroid Prime. And I realized, wait a minute, no, it's the other way around. Yeah, that, I mean, I think a lot of people want a 2D Metroid game, and that would be really interesting, so, yeah. That'd be pretty cool. Just take the best one and remake it.
Yeah.
So this is one that I think you will agree with, because you've brought this game up quite a bit throughout discussions. I want to see, because I don't think they'll ever make a new one of this, so it's easier to just do this. Make a Wave Race 64 remake for the NX.
Yes.
That game is heavily about water and physics, like how you would be interacting with the water while driving across it. So is that what you do in a jet ski? Do you drive them? I don't know.
You ride them. I don't know.
You ride them. You ride across it. So I mean, they're never going to make a new Wave Race game, I don't think. That just doesn't really make sense. So just literally take the N64 game, all the ideas there, remaster it, maybe add in some new content, new controls, and boom. And just imagine how pretty that would look with like modern lighting and modern water effects. Just imagine, what was the girl's name? I remember always crushing on her. She looked really hot. I'd pick her because you get the back view of her in the
Oh man, I gotta think. I know she was in.
Did they have
I remember
names?
she was. Yeah, she was in Wave Race Blue Storm, which was the one on GameCube too, and I can't remember what her name was. It's like some Spanish name, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Oh, I know it is. Hold on, I'm like, you gotta give me a minute.
I just remember.
Are you talking about Akari? No, because Akari's like the girl. She's the Japanese one. But there's oh man, she's like Brazilian or something. I can't remember.
How's she Brazilian with blonde hair?
Oh, you're thinking of a different one then.
The one that has like a pink. She has like a pink wetsuit. Just Roger. Just imagine how hot they would look in their modern HD wetsuits, shining.
Yeah. Oh, Ayumi. Ayumi's the pink one. Ayumi Stewart. She was from Yeah, I just Googled it. Serena Del Mar. That's who I was thinking. The hot Brazilian one from Blue Storm. Yes. Give me her in HD. Put her in Smash Brothers. Yes.
There you go. I think we found a reason to want Wave Race 64. Shiny wetsuits.
And actually, the little Smash Brothers thing I just said was actually meant to be a segue. Because my final game that I want to see remade
you play
HD,
Smash Brothers?
And I do. And the thing I want to see remade, I don't think it's going to be happening on Wii U. I personally don't even think it's ever going to happen, but it's something that everybody in the community wants. Of course, I am talking about Super Smash Bros. Melee HD. Period. Full stop. Give me that game. Again, don't add anything new to it. Just give me Melee. Well, you know what? Maybe you could try to add some of the Brawl characters and some of the Smash 4 characters and put them in that game engine, but I fear that that might break what's kind of already perfect. Give me Melee HD, man. Just like up-res the graphics, give me new character models, remake the stages that were there. I want to see a beautiful, beautiful HD version of like Great Bay from Majora's Mask or Foreside from Earthbound. Some of those classic stages from Melee. Yeah, inject it right in my veins, man. Super Smash Bros. Melee HD. I know it's not the most creative of picks for my final pick, but it's something that I need to see happen.
Okay, I thought all the tournament players preferred Brawl.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, people love Melee, and that would probably sell really well.
Of course.
My final pick is a weird one for me because I don't even like this franchise, but I'll tell you what, I like this version of the franchise. It's Pokemon Ranch for the WiiWare service. No, it's Pokemon Snap.
If you said Pokemon Ranch, I would have actually flown to Schaumburg or wherever you are, and I would have slapped you in the face. Oh my god.
It's Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap. What an amazing idea for a game.
Oh, I love it.
I'm assuming the NX will have a controller with a screen in it that has motion controls. So, oh my god, that's perfect. It would feel like you're holding your own little camera. You're moving around in a three-dimensional space to find the Pokemons. It could look gorgeous. That's another thing it could, obviously it needs an update. It's so fun. And a lot of people like Pokemon Snap. Am I alone in this, or does it have like a cult following?
No. I don't know a single person that dislikes Pokemon Snap.
Right.
So, and everyone talks about how there should be a new one. Honestly, I would prefer a sequel to a remake, but however we're going to get a new Pokemon Snap, I don't care. But give me Pokemon Snap again. I want to see that in HD.
They could maybe update it with like a couple new levels, like put in some new territories that would make sense for newer. And they could inject the newer Pokemon into these settings as well.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah, for sure.
It'd be amazing. I want a new Pokemon Snap game, and I don't even care about Pokemon Snap. Or Pokemon,
100% agree.
Yep.
I need a new Pokemon Snap.
So that is 5 and 5 from both of us.
That is.
I think we've got a lot of good picks here. Be sure to leave a comment below and let us know if you have any other picks of your own. And Roger, where can if these people wanted to dress up like little ants and attack you in the middle of the night, where could they start by stalking you to find information about where you live?
Well, they could start by flying to California and then getting this work real quick. But no, they could find me. They could find me at Rogers Base on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. I'm Rogers Base. I'm sure there'll be a link in the description below too. So come on over. I talk about Nintendo and One Piece and Disney. Those are pretty much the only 3 things I talk about anymore now. Those 3 things. Come find me.
All right. Thank you very much as always, Roger.
Of course. Anytime, Josh.
Bye.